up for Kelsey McKee.
Okay, yeah. Thank you all so much for coming. This is crazy that there's so many people here. I personally have been trying to come to one of these talks for months and months and months, but I am never awake this early. So I really appreciate everyone coming out, and everyone looks so nice. Also, by the way, a few people have asked me, my dress is from Old Navy. Yeah, and also it was $40 and I had a gift card, so it was technically free. But yeah, I don't know why I put my age first, but I'm 30. People often ask me if Good Things is a college project or like a school project. No, I'm a grown woman, and I'm from Absecon, which is right next to Atlantic City, but no one knows what that is, so I just tell people I'm from Atlantic City. But for college, I went to FITM, Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in LA. I lived there for 4 years, and then I moved to Philly in 2017, and I am not professionally trained in anything. These are all the jobs I've ever had. There's almost 30 here. I just wanted to include this because I think it paints a good picture of like how many things I had to try and do, and how long it took to get here. Also, I feel like I've always felt a little like not great about how many jobs I've had. But I do think ultimately, like, I have taken something from each of these jobs, even like when I worked at a pizza shop in Atlantic City. Like, I use things that I learned there in what I'm doing today. I've had a lot of service industry jobs. I've had a lot of freelance jobs. I've had professional jobs. I interned at a PR agency in LA and New York. I was the marketing director at a gallery in Center City that is not open anymore. I also gave myself that title because I was the only person on the marketing team. But essentially, yes, that's what I was. And I worked at a tech startup in Old City. And then I just started a bunch of personal projects for creative outlet, portfolio building that I'll get into later. But yeah, I studied merchandise marketing at FITM. I went for 3 quarters and dropped out because I could not afford to work as much as I had to and go to school. But I always tell people that I feel like I got a good like base knowledge of like just the mindset that I need to have and like the way I need to think about marketing. That really helped me a lot with everything that I'm doing now. And I think just living in LA and like getting to experience and immerse myself in that culture, and get to see like, I think we see like fashion that people are wearing here, but I got to see like how it was made and how it's like marketed like firsthand. So I think that was really helpful, just like the experience of being there. And I don't have as much debt as I would if I went all 4 years. But so after I dropped out, I was working at like restaurants and retail stores, and I felt like I wasn't doing anything that would get me closer to having the job that I ultimately wanted. And I didn't really know how to do that if I wasn't going to go back to school. So I started a blog just to kind of serve as a like portfolio for like fashion jobs that I wanted to apply to. Because other than that, I kind of had nothing and no experience. So yeah, I feel like I started doing like Instagram influencer stuff when it like first became a thing. And after a few years, I really don't like being in front of the camera. And just the selling of it all didn't feel very authentic to me. So I did stop doing it after a little bit. But I had that blog for like 5 years. And I worked with over 35 brands. I worked with Glossier, worked with like a lot of beauty brands. That like Sky Picture is a scrunchie from Room Shop Vintage, which is a local fashion brand at Bach. And Urban Outfitters sent me some home stuff. That was cool. But yeah, my blog ended up getting me the internship that I had at Small Girls PR. And I put a screenshot of the email that I sent. I was reaching out to them to ask to be put on their press list because my friend got invited to an event, a really cool event that they were doing. So I just reached out to say, hey, like, here's my Instagram. This is what I post. I'd love to be put on your press list. And then the co-founder emailed me back and said that she would love to get coffee with me. And when I met with her, she said that she saw that I worked with Glossier and she was hosting an event for Glossier later in the summer. And she would love if I could like help them produce it. And I was like, absolutely. I have zero experience. I didn't tell her that, but I did end up doing the event. It was amazing, and it led to like a 6-month internship with them in New York. On the left are pictures from that event, and then on the right is a picture of the office. But I was on their creative team, so we did a lot of like influencer outreach, tracking campaign success, event planning, production. I did social media for Smarties for a little bit. That was fun. But yeah, the like type of the clients that we had were Jason Wu, Norma Kamali, Billy, Smarties, OkCupid. It was like really incredible that they kind of let me like, they gave me full creative freedom and control over the Glossier event that I helped them with. So that was like a really, really cool learning experience and a great thing to like have in my portfolio and resume. And then that internship is the reason that I got some freelance social media jobs. And yeah, again, no like professional training. I was like learning all of this as I went. But just all that work I was putting into like my portfolio was like, I guess the reason that I was getting all these opportunities. And then, yeah, one of those jobs turned into a full-time position. If anyone is familiar with James Oliver Gallery, no. Oh, okay, some people. So Hotbed, like James Oliver Gallery is on the 2nd floor of that building now. They used to be on the 4th, but Hotbed was on the 2nd floor before James Oliver Gallery. And I was a young person newly in the professional world, so they had me doing the job of at least 5 people by myself, as that always kind of goes. But yeah, I was doing like social media strategy, social media management. I designed our website, all of our like printed marketing materials. I helped with event planning, production. It was a lot of fun, and I was there for about 2 years, and I learned so much. And I think I did live in Philly for a year before I got this job, and then I went back to LA, and then I moved back home for a little bit when I was doing my internship in New York. And when I moved back to Philly, when I first moved to Philly, I really didn't like it. I was like, ew, this is boring. Just because like LA is so like vibrant. I feel like I met a new person every single time I left my house. And I was just kind of bored in Philly. And when I came back and started working at this art gallery, I was meeting so many people and I was seeing like all these really cool things that people were just like DIYing and really building like really cool things for themselves. So that really helped me kind of fall in love with Philly and our creative community here. After I left that job, I went back to portfolio building. I kind of felt, also when I was doing this, I was also doing all of the marketing for, they had like a horticulture design company that I was also doing all of the marketing for. So overall, I felt like the work that I was doing for both of those wasn't really showcasing what I was capable of or my personal tastes. So after I left that job, I just kind of like brainstormed 3 brands that I would build like a whole brand identity for and make a like mock-up website, a mock-up like social media presence. And I just like thought really long and hard about like what I care most about and what I'm like most passionate about. So the 3 brands that I came up with were, I'll actually say the first one last, but an ethical marketplace, so like Amazon, but all the products and like companies that sell on that marketplace would have to pass some kind of ethical tests or standards. And then a high-end fashion brand that would donate 25% of its profits to charity each season. Because I like fashion and I think it would be cool if there was like a high-end brand that designed its collection around like different social issues and then donated to a charity that aligned with that. And then the third brand I thought of was a beauty brand for your mind. I was like thinking a lot about how like the only beauty brands that exist are for your physical like exterior appearance. And I think that sends a really harmful message to like younger people that like the only beauty that matters is what you look like. So I didn't even know what that would be when I like wrote that down, a beauty brand for your mind. But then that kind of developed into a project that I made called the Self Series. So the Self Series was a 6-part event series comprised of 3 panels and 3 workshops designed to help us improve our relationship with ourselves. So we had a self-love panel, which I just asked my friends, like, do you want to do this panel? And like the capacity for the venue was like 45 people and like 60-something people showed up, which was like really cool. It like showed me that people really want this. And the whole purpose of it was so that we could have these conversations in person, because I felt like I was seeing a lot on social media, but people weren't really talking about this stuff face to face. So yeah, the first event we did was a self-love panel. Then we had a panel about self-acceptance, a workshop about self-reflection, and then the 4th event that we had was a self-discovery panel. So I invited a bunch of like artists, musicians, makeup artists. There was an accountant there. There was an author, fashion designer. Like, I wanted to have a wide variety of panelists that would just talk about their experience and journey, finding their way to what they did. And then we were supposed to have a self-improvement panel and a self-care workshop, but COVID did not let that happen. Because all of this stuff was designed and meant to be in person. So after I couldn't do that anymore, I did try to keep it going digitally, but it just wasn't making me any money, and I needed to do something that made me money. So I started freelancing, and then I was like, let me make it look like there's a bunch of people behind this. Because I don't know. When people think it's just you, I wanted to like easily set some boundaries, and just like make us look a little more like a big deal. And it was going great for a very long time, but then I went like 4 or 5 months without clients. So I had to get a job. And I started working at a tech startup, which I didn't want to do. I obviously would have loved to like continue working for myself, but I did learn so much there, and I'm really grateful for that experience. But yeah, when I made my website for my creative agency, I wanted to like approach marketing for my business very strategically. So I put a page on our website that was a directory of small businesses in Philly because I thought that would be a good way to get a bunch of people to come to our website. And I also had like, I was building lists of like creatives and freelancers and influencers in Philly. And I was thinking about like trying to like sell that to businesses and people. And I think that was like kind of the beginning of what I've built with Good Things. And these are just like screenshots of a couple websites that I made. I briefly did stand-up comedy, and I don't want to talk about it. But I will say that I still do it a little bit, and we have a show tomorrow at Moonrose Vintage. It's going to be really fun. We're donating 10% of the ticket sales to ACLU, and it's an all-queer lineup. So if you're free tomorrow night, it's fun. But yeah, I was really good at marketing and promoting shows, and all the comics kept asking me for help and kept asking me like, how do you like get your show shared here, and like how do you get so many people to come to the shows? So I had an idea to start a website and an Instagram that people could pay me $5, and I would definitely share their event. I think there's a lot of like Instagrams in Philly that promote events, but you kind of just have to send it to them and cross your fingers and hope that they share it. And this way, like, it's a very small fee, and I will definitely share your event. So I started out like offering it to people for free and kind of like promoting it within the comedy community. And then they started submitting their events, and then it just kind of like grew. I made this so quick yesterday, and I am realizing that I'm like skipping over a lot, but I'm sure you guys will maybe have questions. But yeah, now I launched Good Things, our website, in March of last year, and it has grown really quickly, which is cool. And now we have an app. I wanted it to be an app from the beginning, but I could not afford to pay a developer, and I didn't know how to build apps myself. But Google is amazing. I feel like, yeah, sometimes we forget like how much information and tutorials and stuff are on the internet. So it got to a point where we were getting so many submissions, like I have to manually post every submission that we get. And I was like, I need to just learn. And I found a no-code app building platform called Bubble. That it was still really difficult to learn how to use that, but I did it, and now we have an app. And it was supposed to launch yesterday. It's still not ready. I'm gonna try and get it out today. But yeah, when Justin reached out to me and said that this month's theme was punk, I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm the right person, but he said that he didn't mean punk as in like mohawks and leather jackets. He meant punk as in like DIY. And I think that like everything I've done has been pretty DIY. I've like learned as I go, and a lot of like self-taught stuff. But I think that what I'm doing with Good Things is very punk. Punk is about like resistance and speaking out against injustice and community, and that's pretty much everything that we're trying to do. Our app does not track or sell users' data. There's no ads, there's no influencers, there's no likes, there's no follower count, there's no doom scrolling. It is solely meant to be a vehicle to get you connected with people in real life. And then, yeah, our directories make it easy to find and support local creatives and small businesses so that we can stop giving evil corporations our money, and we can kind of keep our dollars local and fund ourselves and like protect each other financially. And I think, yeah, that's it. Thanks. I'm also realizing that I didn't include like any pictures or videos or like share what Good Things is or what it looks like or anything. So I could go on the website really quick if, okay. Okay, so yeah, there's people, places, things to do. The people directory is for freelancers, entrepreneurs, creatives, anyone who is like looking to make money from what they're passionate about, or just is looking to like collaborate on creative projects. You can make yourself a profile. It'll have like your bio and links to your like website and work and things like that. And then our places directory is for small businesses in Philly. And we also have, like a month after I launched Good Things, I had been thinking the whole time, like, I really need like a map, like a way to make a map of like all the events and small businesses that we have on the website. And then this girl reached out to me and was like, hey, I made this app that makes maps. Do you want to use it? And I was like, get out of my brain. But now we're really good friends, and she has a tech startup in Philly, and it's really nice because we get to like support each other, and we both use each other's platform. But yeah, we have this map of all the small businesses that have a profile. Our directories are searchable by like groups that own those businesses. You can search by category. And then the things to do page is obviously events. But we only accept events that involve local independent creatives or small businesses. So if you're ever bored or want to know what's going on this week, we have a little map of all the events happening, and you can also search this. I'm not going to show you the app yet because it's not fully done, but we also have this part of it called the club. So it's really hard to make friends as an adult, and it's really hard to know where to go to meet new people and like in a friendly way. So we have a group chat on Geneva, if anyone knows what Geneva is. It's like a cute Discord, pretty much. And anyone can join this. It's $3 a month, and we host 2 meetups a week. We do like dinners, and every Friday we have a picnic at a different park around the city, and we do like happy hours and like just kind of random stuff. But I personally have made so many friends through this, and met so many like incredible people. And yeah, that's pretty much the website.
Hey, thank you, Kelsey. Give it up for
sorry.
Kelsey.